Okay, so this video, let's talk about the presets. If we bring this over, I'm just going to click that on. Lightroom has a bunch of nifty presets that'll help you, get a little bit creative. They also have some nice presets on tones, contrast, sharpening, so basic adjustment presets. But also they've got some neat presets here on changing pictures. If we want to go straight to black and white with low contrast, high contrast, one click, and it's there. Pretty nifty tool. I like that a lot. The one I find is really neat, living in Estes Park. There's lots of old pictures around. This antique light, and sometimes, depending on the picture, antique grayscale, is a really neat way. It sort of adds the black and white aspect, the sepia down here, just a little bit different. Everyone has its own nice aspect. You got some different things down here. If we hit Control Z, we're going to um, bring out these presets that we've had. So let's go Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Let's get back to our color image. So check out this with Punch. Adds just a little bit more than what we had. So we already got it right where we wanted it. No, we can do any adjustment here. Now what's great, anytime you see these plus signs, we can create something new in Lightroom. And that's what I did down here in my user presets. I've got a situation here where I showed you about the medium contrast. And what I did, let me go up to the tone curve here. If we get up to the tone curve, it's right here. It was a 0 plus 4 minus 7, 0. So if I hit, get the right one, bam, right away goes right to my preset. And all you have to do to make that preset is hit the plus sign, and a panel is going to come up. So let's see, I get this here in the frame. This panel is just a basic gray panel, and you click what is that one thing you want to adjust. You name it, you put it in whatever preset you want it, and then it's done. And your preset's there for all time. If you know you do the same thing all the time, time after time, you can do that. It's a very nice option. So, knowing that you have these presets, make your life easy. But let's take Lightroom to the next level. Let's get our shot to a point that, okay, this is nice. I got my adjustments here. What's great, if I bring up the bottom panel, I have some other shots that I took that day that came out sort of the same way. So we go over here. This one was underexposed. It really, it was only so-so. Well, if I click down here, this is the main shot I wanted to edit. If I hold down either the shift, if I hold the shift, all the pictures in between will be selected. I don't want to do that. These are actually already edited. I want to just pick the one shot. So I could click this one. Whatever the first one you select, and the second one is going to allow us to sync the settings. There's a button right here to sync. So we hit sync. It brings up the gray box of all the different options. I want to adjust the exposure. I want to adjust the color. I don't want to do the crop. I want to do just some of the basic stuff. So I'm going to click whatever I want to do, whatever I did. So I did exposure, highlight, fills, blacks, contrast, the color, vibration, vibrance, I should say, clarity, the tone curve, all that. And I click synchronize. Bam, my picture down here has all the same settings that I put here. Really great way to do some batch processing, and what I find is amazing is it's really fast. You click the button, and in the span of seconds, you can do that. So if you got a lot of shots that you took, you edit the one. If every scene's the same, just sync up all the settings. Really cool feature. So beyond that, we go through, we always have this option down here. Let's hide that away. So next video here, we're going to talk about using all these different options. But before we get there, I want to show you the most basic one, the crop tool. When you use the crop tool, what's great about the Lightroom version compared to Adobe Camera Raw's latest versions is with the crop tool, we get a rule of thirds grid, which is very handy if we're going to shoot landscapes or doing wildlife, and we really don't know where to compose it. Maybe you don't have enough focal length to reach. When you find in landscapes, you look right here, you look over here. Very rarely are the most interesting things in the rule of thirds necessarily. Sometimes they're quite beyond that, but in wildlife that'll be really handy. The other thing that's cool is as you look at the cursor, that's the crop. Wherever we clicked it, we could go there. And here's what's really kind of cool. If you know, hey, I like to crop all my shots, we can come over here to the aspect and we can go into any type of format. I want to print this for an 8 by 10. There's an 8 by 10 crop. Can I make an 8 by 10 out of this? Well, it's going to be a little tough. But if you do that quite often, if you do 1-to-1 crops, you got a complete square. If you're doing prints, anything like that, you want to print for standard paper, there's the crop you've got. Or you can just go to the custom. We can take it anywhere we want. That's what I quite often do. So that's a neat feature. And we take this back to the original crop. The other thing we got is the angle. You can see as the mouse turns into these two arrows, we can rotate the picture. Now that's handy, but here's what I really like. If you take both of these are tools. If you click it, now the tool is following your mouse. And if I wanted to make a certain line straight, I can do that. So this is going to be, you're always looking for horizontal lines here. I've got a horizontal line of Bear Lake over on the far side. And if I say that should be level, it's going to rotate it and get that exact line that I just drew level. Now I don't think I want that quite there. Control Z takes you back. But nifty tool. I love the crop tool here in Lightroom. It's really quick, it's efficient, and what's great, we're using the raw file. So if I decide later, man, that really wasn't the best crop, I can come back. So I can go through here, crop it down, crop it, and I come back. There's all my original data. Whereas in Photoshop, if you crop it, generally that image is pretty much gone. So really nifty tool. So I'll see you in the next video when we talk about the other cool tools that the development program has in Lightroom.